Hello, this video is part 2 of our series on resizing and sharpening in PhotoLine. Resizing an image that's made of pixels is not a trivial matter. The information in all the pixels has to be preserved somehow when reducing the size, and when enlarging, the information has to be spread out smoothly. And just like when the image is first captured, it must be sharpened after resizing. Let's first flatten our sharpening and noise reduction layer group. We will not need that information after the image is resized, and the parameters will no longer be correct at any rate. Select the group and the background, right-click, Merge Layers. Or we could just use Layer Flattened Image to flatten the whole thing. To resize, we use Layout, Document, Scale Document. A number of modes may be used, including ordinary units, which may be changed by right-clicking these fields. Deselect the chain link button to change the aspect ratio. Other modes include percent, resolution, various choices of width or height, or a formula such as width times 2. Our previous test image had a width of 715 pixels, so let's go with that. Resolution isn't actually important unless the image is to be printed. Now the big question, which interpolation method to use? These are the mathematical formulas that may be used to create the new pixels for the resized image. I'm going to use Mitchell-Netravali because the results are nice and smooth, smoother in my experience than the usual recommendation of bicubic, and because we're then going to apply halo-controlled sharpening, which lets us use a good amount of sharpening without introducing too much artifact. This is basically the image that we've been working on in previous videos, but it needs to be sharpened. And we need to use an adjustment layer this time because we're going to duplicate it. Layer, New Adjustment Layer, Unsharp Masking. Select the L channel, threshold to 0, intensity to the top. The details are smaller in this image. Fine halos around the continents appear when we increase the size from 1.5 to 2, so let's keep it there. At 100%, the intensity is too low, so gradually increase it. There's a subjective element here, but all things considered, 200% looks right. And we don't need to hold back because of what we're going to do in a minute. If we increase threshold to 2, the fine detail in the blue water and the brown sign disappears, but it looks like the image as a whole suffers a little, so let's go back down to 1. Okay. Now, remember from the previous video that sharpening produces both light and dark halos. We're going to make use of the fact that light halos tend to be more conspicuous than dark ones, and adjust our sharpening accordingly. 2 layer blend modes that we haven't looked at before are darken and lighten. Darken only displays pixels that have been darkened by an adjustment layer, and lighten does the same for pixels that have been lightened. Let's duplicate our unsharp mask layer, right-click, duplicate layer. Now we're going to change the blend mode of the top one to lighten and the bottom one to darken. Now we have 2 independent unsharp mask layers, one creating light halos and one creating dark ones. Let's turn the opacity of the light one down a little to 80% or so. What little trace of light halos there are on the globe disappears. Now we can try turning the dark layer up a little. 110 looks okay. 120 is too much, so 110 it is. And there you have it.